After my boyfriend changed his heart, I followed the clues and found the girl's unrequited true love. His appearance bore a striking resemblance to my boyfriend, so much so that I suspected my boyfriend was just a substitute. Later, late at night, the girl sent me a provocative video. "Isn't this exciting? Your boyfriend and I are right next door." The man pressed against me and sent back a voice message. "MHM. She and your boyfriend are next door too. Isn't that equally exciting?" 1. My boyfriend's heart had changed. His phone's lock screen duration shortened, his overtime hours at night increased, and he occasionally carried a faint scent of jasmine. I knew him well, though I lacked concrete evidence. I was certain he had changed. Soo-yuan was my senior during university. During freshman club recruitment, Soo-yuan fell for me at first sight and launched an intense pursuit. Truth be told, Soo-yuan was decent, but compared to his decent, my looks could undoubtedly be called beautiful, so his courtship required considerable effort. We started dating sophomore year, 5 years now. Just as we were discussing marriage, his heart changed. I was furious. After dinner, he sneaked off to the bathroom to make a call again. Staring at the dishes on the table, my anger flared up, so I curled up on the sofa scrolling through my phone. Half an hour later, Soo-yuan came out. "Zhou Yen, why haven't you washed the dishes?" "I don't want to." "You do it. It's your turn today, so you should wash them. You had time to hole up in the bathroom for half an hour, but can't spare time to wash 2 bowls. Fine, I'll just throw them away tomorrow if you don't want to wash them." Soo-yuan glared at me silently for a long time before finally going to wash the dishes in the kitchen. He wasn't like this before. When we first moved in together, he took care of all the housework, calling me his treasure. Then at some point, even treasures had to do chores. He claimed he was too tired from work. What's truly exhausting isn't work itself, but office politics. Yet he seems eager to weave himself into multiple social webs, building connections. Losing my temper, I got up and went to the bedroom. Soon after, Soo-yuan came in. He yanked the blanket over himself, lying with his back to me. I scoffed and asked him, "Soo-yuan, don't you think I've changed?" Without even looking up, Soo-yuan retorted, "You've become more temperamental," before pulling the blanket over his head. "Not in the mood tonight." "No, just tired." Well, nothing more to say. At 1 a.m., after Soo-yuan fell asleep, I took his phone. Tried 3 times, none of the lock screen passwords were my birthday. 3rd time's the charm, I wouldn't try again. Placing the phone back on the nightstand, I lay in bed and ran my hands over my body from top to bottom. The skin on my face still taut, waist slim, legs long, figure exquisite. In the darkness, I quietly curved my lips in a soundless smile. "Sister hasn't changed at all, it's you who's changed. Soo-yuan, are you blind? You idiot." 2. I haven't broken up with him yet because I can't understand why he'd change. To learn from this failure, I decided to study Soo-yuan as a specimen. To my surprise, within days I actually discovered some clues. It all started with a certain social media platform. That day, while casually scrolling through an app, a familiar silhouette caught my eye. The account appears to be run by a girl, usually sharing daily life snippets, but the last picture in this set shows a man's back. I zoomed in and out on the photo multiple times, eventually concluding there's a 90% chance the man is Soo-yuan. So I followed the clues and scrolled through all the girl's previous posts, finally finding another highly similar photo. That photo showed the man's profile. Though blurred, I instantly recognized the brooch on his suit. The brooch was something I bought at a vintage shop during my UK trip, very unlikely to be duplicated, making it highly probable it's Soo-yuan. From the girl's posts, they've been together for at least half a year, and half a year ago my grandmother passed away, and I went back to my hometown for a month. Great, just great. When Soo-yuan came home that night, I casually brought up the brooch. Soo-yuan froze momentarily before recovering after a few seconds. "I wore it some time ago, probably put it in the cabinet." "Why do you ask?" "Nothing, just saw an identical one while browsing posts today, thought it was quite a coincidence." As I spoke, I watched Soo-yuan's expression closely. A flicker of panic flashed across his face, followed by a deep frown. "Isn't that completely normal? If you think it looks nice, others might too. What's so strange about that? Instead of wasting time on your phone, you could do some housework. Don't just wait for me to do everything when I get back." After saying this, he flung his suit jacket aside and disappeared into the bathroom again. All I saw in him at that moment were 4 words: false bravado. I know him too well. His voice was slightly higher than usual when he spoke. His gaze drifted downward, avoiding my eyes, and he retreated immediately after speaking, leaving no time for me to react. How amusing! All it took was a little test, and he'd already given himself away. So, that girl must be the one he has fallen for. 3. I've been busy these past few days. For one, I've been packing my things, preparing to break up with Su Yuan. For another, I've been struggling to figure out how best to exact my revenge. I absolutely must get revenge on Su Yuan. But how to make him pay in a way that truly satisfies my anger, I still haven't figured that part out yet. When bored, I stumbled upon that girl's post again, and suddenly noticed she had pinned a new update. The newly opened cafe downstairs from our company is really nice. Yet the location tag showed Su Yuan's company building. So this dog of a Mun was actually having an office romance. The scope narrowed instantly, my heart pounding as I felt I was one step closer to the truth. After some thought, I began searching for accounts with the same name across major apps. I went all out searching like a tiger, spending several hours only to find absolutely nothing. She was using a secondary account. I couldn't find any useful information. Feeling discouraged, I lay in bed spacing out for a while, but still couldn't let it go. So I got up to analyze each post one by one. Finally, I noticed something odd. Her posts had few comments, with only one account frequently interacting. I clicked into it and found it belonged to a Mun. Scrolling through his following list, I finally located her. Her profile picture was an image that had appeared on the secondary account, a seaside landscape photo focusing on an unidentifiable woman. I went through all of this person's posts and found that her and her trajectories were basically consistent. It's safe to conclude that this is her main account. So this is what she actually looks like. Jet black straight hair, fair complexion, radiant smile, plus a pair of large shy eyes. What a pure little white flower. Su Yuan actually likes this type. Have to say, his taste has really taken a nosedive. While grumbling, I kept scrolling through her posts and finally found something else odd in a post from 6 months ago. The caption read, "Hello April, hello boyfriend." Below the caption was a photo of a man's profile, bearing 70 to 80% resemblance to Su Yuan. But this isn't Su Yuan at all. 4. Ha 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 ha. I wonder if Su Yuan knows that he's the rebound of his own rebound. Is this some new dating trend among urban youth nowadays? I laughed hysterically for quite a while before deciding to meet this man with a head full of green. Based on information revealed in this girl's main account, I quickly identified this man. Manager of a security company, working right near my office. "Hello, is this Huaishu Security Company?" I knocked on the door, and a group of burly men turned around. Their intimidating aura immediately made me retreat half a step. I'm looking for Brother Hui. Is Brother Hui here? A man in the corner stood up, sizing me up with a few glances. Just as I was about to call out Brother Hui, he waved his hand and said, "Looking for Brother Hui? Come with me." I hesitated for a moment but followed him inside. After walking about 20 meters, he knocked on an office door, pushed it open, and grinned with a mouthful of white teeth. "Brother Hui, there's a beautiful woman here to see you." The man called Brother Hui looked up, motioned for the other person to leave, then pointed to the chair in front of him and said to me, "Sit." I obediently sat down, momentarily at a loss for how to tell him he'd been cheated on. This is terrifying. His gaze swept over me like a sword, carrying a biting chill. With this kind of aura, his girlfriend actually dared to cheat on him. Suppressing my doubts, I cleared my throat and cautiously began. "Brother Hui, let me introduce myself first. My name is Zhou Yan, and my boyfriend Su Yuan is the one your girlfriend has shifted her affections to." After speaking, I quickly glanced up at him. He didn't seem angry, but he stared straight at me with an almost smile expression. Oh no, I've angered him. Gritting my teeth, I continued. "Brother Hui, I'm not here for anything else. I know which route Su Yuan takes after work every day. Why don't you take some people and beat him up tonight?" Brother Hui let out a laugh. Oh no, laughing in extreme anger. "So Zhou Yan, is it? I know about Ji Wanwan's change of heart," he said casually. "He can tolerate even this." My temper flared up instantly. "So you don't want revenge? Don't worry, I wouldn't mind even if Su Yuan gets half beaten to death." Brother Hui chuckled again and stood up. Nearly 1.9 meters tall, he loomed over me, straight-backed and imposing. Leaning against the table with his arms crossed, he looked at me with a strange smile. "I've thought about it, but beating him up isn't good for social harmony. I have other methods. Want to hear them?" 5. I didn't want to hear, because I was scared. Even beating someone up couldn't satisfy his anger. I don't know what other methods he might have. Brother Hui wasn't angry, though. He half forced me to add his WeChat, saying I could contact him when I figured things out. I stumbled out of the bodyguard company in a daze, only snapping completely awake when I stood under the sunlight. Thinking of Brother Huey's robust physique and the circle of underlings around him, I actually felt some untimely sympathy for Su Yuan. This directly led me to frequently glance at Su Yuan after returning home, making him visibly uncomfortable. Why do you keep staring at me? Su Yuan, guilty as a thief, struck first. My sympathy for him extinguished instantly as I rolled my eyes. You think I'm looking at you because you're pretty. I just think your face looks pale, might be a sign of impending bloodshed. Su Yuan's expression changed immediately. Zhou Yan, are you picking a fight on purpose? If you don't know how to talk, just shut up. Ha, ignorant fool. I grabbed my phone and retreated to the bedroom, locking the door behind me. Before long, Su Yuan's furious curses came from outside the door. Zhou Yan, why did you lock the door? Where am I supposed to sleep? Sleep in the living room, clear your head. I lay alone on the big bed feeling somewhat pleased. After scrolling through videos on my phone for a while and preparing to sleep, someone suddenly sent me a message. It was actually Brother Hui. He asked if I was asleep. I respectfully replied no, then after some thought added a smiling emoji. Thought about it. I heard they're going on a business trip to the neighboring city tomorrow, overnight stay. Brother Hui was actually exchanging information with me. Listening to Su Yuan's grumbling curses outside, I wavered for a moment. A few minutes later, Brother Hui sent another question mark sticker. After thinking for quite a while, I finally made up my mind and replied. Then let's meet at Mingxian Tea House tomorrow to talk. 6. Brother Hui and I sat facing each other in the tea room. Didn't have time to introduce myself yesterday. I'm Lu Wenhui, nice to meet you, Zhou Yan. Nice to meet me. I forced a dry laugh and had to reply, it's my honor. Brother Hui didn't beat around the bush and got straight to the point. Ji Wanwan told me yesterday she's on a business trip today and won't be back tonight. Did you know about this? I shook my head. No, Su Yuan might call me later to mention it. So what are you thinking now? Break up or forgive him? Are you kidding? Of course break up. Three-legged toads are hard to find, but two-legged men are everywhere. Since you won't hit him, I'll just ask my brother to beat him up. Brother Hui seemed speechless. So your revenge method is just beating him up? I nodded then shook my head. There doesn't seem to be any better way. I don't want to deal with him anymore. Suddenly Brother Hui leaned closer, propping his elbow on the table. I have a better idea. Why don't you cheat on him back? What? If he acts shameless, should I stoop to his level too? What kind of terrible idea is this? I couldn't help wanting to roll my eyes, but when my gaze skimmed over the muscles on his arm, I barely controlled myself and forced a smile. Forget it, I'm not in the mood. Alright then, I've got another idea. You don't have to break up with Su Yuan yet. Just wait half a month, at most a month there'll be a big drama unfolding, absolutely spectacular. I was somewhat curious and asked him what kind of drama it would be. Lu Wenhui just smiled mysteriously and told me to wait and see. Fine then. As long as Su Yuan suffers, I'll be happy. A month I can tough it out somehow. I nodded in agreement then prepared to take my leave. But Lu Wenhui stopped me, saying something about how our meeting was fate, and insisted on taking me out to eat. This guy, isn't he a little too enthusiastic? 7. I ended up having a meal with Lu Wenhui, for no other reason than my burning curiosity about Ji Wanwan daring to cheat on him. Brother Hui, what's the deal between you and Ji Wanwan? Do you really love her that much? Brother Hui paused, then said, just call me Lu Wenhui. Brother Hui always feels a bit odd. I nodded in agreement and he began to tell me about his relationship with Ji Wanwan. It turned out they had known each other since childhood. As a child, Ji Wanwan was pure and adorable, the little princess of their neighborhood. Boys would fight bloody battles just to play with her, yet Lu Wenhui never liked her. As they grew up, Lu Wenhui enlisted in the military and later retired, naturally losing contact with Ji Wanwan. Until a year ago, when Lu Wenhui intervened to drive away some thugs harassing a girl only to realize the girl was his old acquaintance, Ji Wanwan. From then on, Ji Wanwan clung to Lu Wenhui. Not only did she frequently send him gifts, but she also went to his house to win over his parents. Before long, Ji Wanwan had successfully charmed Lu Wenhui's parents, and the overwhelmed Lu Wenhui reluctantly agreed to let her become his girlfriend. So she loved you deeply. Then why did she change her heart? Lu Wenhui gave me a complicated look. She doesn't love me, it's just her conquest complex acting up. I'm the mountain she can't conquer. She just wants me to be another admirer at her feet. Given our childhood friendship and neighborly ties, even if she cheated on me, I'd just break up with her, no real loss for her. On the contrary, she'd probably feel proud of herself. My eyes widened. I'd never imagined such reasoning existed. I couldn't help but feel some sympathy for the man before me. So all those muscles are completely useless. No problem, you could always take it out on Su Yuan. My mind kept circling back to beating up Su Yuan, and I couldn't resist bringing it up again. Lu Wenhui looked exasperated. Are you really that eager to see me in jail? I'm a bodyguard, not a hitman. I forced an awkward laugh and quickly changed the subject. After a meal's worth of conversation, I was surprised to find that the fearsome-looking brother Hui was actually quite approachable. When the bill came, he insisted on paying first. I thanked him, but he just smiled and said, "That suggestion about getting back at him really not considering it." 8. Two things happened tonight. The first was Su Yuan messaging me, saying he's on a business trip and won't be back tonight. As expected. The second was Lu Wenhui messaging me, saying he likes me and asking if he can pursue me. Totally unexpected. Wait, this straightforward. He said, "Zhou Yan, I was attracted to you from our first meeting. You perfectly match my aesthetic. So won't you consider it?" Bro, Hui Ji, don't you think our current relationship is somewhat twisted? Really not suitable for romance. If you feel there's a psychological barrier, we can break up immediately. It's mainly because the grand drama is too exciting. Experiencing it firsthand is more thrilling. What grand drama? Can't you give me a hint? Want to know? Then be my girlfriend. Too tired. Let's talk later. Lu Wenhui's bluntness surprised me, but beyond the surprise, I actually felt a faint sense of secret delight. Yes, I was somewhat happy. It's not that I like him too, but having my beauty praised by someone else, especially when that someone is Lu Wenhui, feels somewhat extraordinary. To be honest, Lu Wenhui is exactly my type. His looks and figure go without saying. Compared to Su Yuan, he's far superior. More importantly, there's an added sincerity and steadiness in Lu Wenhui's demeanor, which makes the contrast with Su Yuan's increasingly slick and worldly manner all the more apparent. I wrestled with my thoughts all night, but ultimately reason prevailed over physical attraction. With my great vengeance still unfulfilled, how could I indulge in romantic matters again? A night of restless thoughts left me rushing anxiously to work in the morning. I clocked in right on time, and upon entering the office, colleagues cast knowing and envious looks my way. Puzzled at first, I understood immediately when I saw the enormous bouquet of roses at my desk. "Zhou Yan, your boyfriend is still so romantic. Are you two getting married this year?" As colleagues gathered to gossip, my mind was in turmoil. I gave some perfunctory replies before sinking into deep thought. The flowers were definitely sent by Lu Wenhui, not Su Yuan. Should I add another thread to this already tangled and complicated relationship? I picked up my phone and sent Lu Wenhui a text message. "Did you send these flowers?" He replied instantly, "Yes, do you like them? You mentioned yesterday that you liked champagne roses." Hearing this, I felt a pang in my heart. After a pause, I steeled myself and said, "Thank you, the flowers are beautiful, but please don't send any more. Before breaking up with Su Yuan, I don't want to think about these things." There was a long silence on the other end before he replied with a simple "okay." Then he added, "Can I still contact you? Just to talk about their matters?" I replied, "Yes." 9. Lu Wenhui kept his word and never brought up the girlfriend topic again. I felt somewhat relieved, but sometimes when looking at Su Yuan, I'd recall Lu Wenhui's sharp, handsome features. Another week passed in the blink of an eye. That evening when I returned home, I found Su Yuan packing his things. "Are you going on a business trip?" Su Yuan continued packing without looking up. "Yes, I'll be away for 3 days. Take care of yourself while I'm gone." "Are you going alone or with colleagues?" "With colleagues." "Stop asking and just bring me my toiletry bag." I froze for a moment before turning to enter the bedroom. When Su Yuan saw I wasn't coming back, he complained and had to get it himself. I sent Lu Wenhui a message. "Su Yuan is going on a business trip. Is Ji Wanwan going too?" Lu Wenhui replied, "Probably. She said her best friend just went through a breakup and needs company for a few days." I sent a sighing emoji, saying this is so boring, I don't want to keep pretending. The typing indicator kept flashing on the other side. After a while, Lu Wenhui replied, "How about we follow them? We could gather some evidence while we're at it." Wow, that escalated quickly. Catching them red-handed. After some thought, I couldn't suppress my excitement and agreed. The next morning, Su Yuan drove off first. The moment he left, Lu Wenhui called me. I went downstairs and got in his car. I asked around indirectly. They're probably going to Yuanzhou. After speaking, Lu Wenhui kept one hand on the steering wheel while reaching back to retrieve a large shopping bag, which he placed beside me. "There's bread and snacks inside, take whatever you want." He flashed me a smile before turning his attention back to driving. My heart suddenly ached, followed by the distinct sound of thumping heartbeats in my ears. Oh no, this man is genuinely charming. As expected, Su Yuan picked up Ji Wanwan, and the two cars entered the highway one after another. 3 hours later, we arrived in Yuanzhou. Su Yuan immediately took Ji Wanwan straight to a hotel upon entering the city. My face paled slightly as I glanced at Lu Wenhui, only to find him completely absorbed in filming with his camera. Zhou Yan, let's stay at this hotel too, it'll make evidence collection easier. I absent-mindedly replied okay, while staring fixedly ahead. In my line of sight, Su Yuan was holding Ji Wanwan by the waist, bending down to kiss her forehead. 10. Knowing about Su Yuan's changed heart was one thing, seeing his betrayal firsthand was entirely another. I watched helplessly as Su Yuan held another woman's waist and kissed her forehead. My stomach churned violently, as if I might vomit any second. Zhou Yan, are you okay? Lu Wenhui immediately hooked his arm around me, his voice filled with urgency. I shook my head, pushed him away, and continued following them. Ahead, Ji Wanwan's coquettish laughter drifted over from time to time. Hiding behind the parapet, I saw him kiss her lips. They couldn't even wait to get to a room. The burning pain in my chest grew increasingly intense, forcing me to bend over uncontrollably. Lu Wenhui, who had been following me, suddenly picked me up in his arms and carried me back to the room. As time passed minute by minute, it took half an hour before I gradually returned to normal. Lu Wenhui handed me a cup of warm water. After taking a few sips, I gave him a bitter smile. Sorry you had to see that. I must seem really pathetic. Not at all. They're the ones in the wrong. When someone gives their sincere heart, it shouldn't be trampled on like this. He looked at me and said with complete seriousness. A surge of warmth suddenly flowed through my heart, unconsciously dispersing some of the coldness within. Su Yuan and I were campus sweethearts. He was my first love, and I truly loved him before. We made vows under the moonlight, survived graduation, endured long distance, but how could he change so suddenly? As I spoke, I recalled the younger version of Su Yuan in my mind. That handsome, upright young man under the moonlight once promised he would love me forever, yet in the blink of an eye, he transformed into that lustful, greasy man from earlier. In just 5 short years, his transformation was truly shocking. I didn't want to think about it anymore and helplessly buried my head. At this moment, Lu Wenhui sat beside me and carefully patted my head. Everyone faces many temptations. Those who hold on to their principles remain human, while those who don't are no different from beasts. Don't be sad. Seeing his true colors now is better than getting hurt later. My body began to tremble as tears gradually filled my eyes. This was the first time I cried after learning about Su Yuan's change of heart, not weeping alone, not complaining to girlfriends, but revealing true emotions before someone with an awkward identity. I felt a pair of large hands on my shoulders, his palms resting lightly against me as if cradling fragile glass. Looking up, I saw a flash of pain in Lu Wenhui's eyes, whether for me or for Ji Wanwan, I couldn't tell. Do you really like me? I asked him. Lu Wenhui nodded heavily, his gaze firm. I tilted my head up to meet his lips, then lingered near his ear to whisper, fuck it, let's cuckold them. 11. Astonishment flashed through Lu Wenhui's eyes. Then he pushed me away forcefully, gripping my shoulders. Zhou Yan, I don't want to take advantage of someone's vulnerability, nor do I want anything unclear. Lu Wenhui exuded an icy, solemn aura, as if seeking confirmation from me. I paused, lightly patting my forehead, then said, all right, then let's talk openly and honestly. First, I'm absolutely sure I don't like Su Yuan anymore. Just now I was sad because I felt those 5 years of youth were wasted, but crying it out made me feel better. Second, I'm completely sober now, not emotionally overwhelmed nor giving up on everything. Third, my ears turned red as I lowered my head, speaking softer, I think I like you a little. Not too much yet, is that okay with you? Lu Wenhui remained silent for a long time. My anxiety grew until I looked up, only to find him gazing at me with a tender smile. Hey, say something. I nudged Lu Wenhui to snap him out of it. Sorry, I got too excited, ha ha ha, damn, I've waited all these years just for you. Lu Wenhui's silly grin completely betrayed his usual brother Hui image. First he kissed my forehead gently, then brushed his lips lightly against mine, saying, Zhou Yan, I'm clean, nothing ever happened between me and Ji Wanwan. Don't have any psychological barriers about it. Ha. 6 months dating and nothing happened. I think I've figured out why Ji Wanwan changed her heart. I cast him a slightly suspicious glance. He seemed to understand my meaning and immediately lowered his head for a deep, lingering kiss. He didn't release me until I was gasping for breath, his eyes flashing with satisfaction. Never doubt a man, least of all me. It was my carelessness. Are we going to catch them in the act later? I asked. Lu Wenhui shook his head. No, that's disgusting. Let's play something more fun instead. His gaze locked onto me, weaving intricate patterns, brimming with desire. My mouth went dry, and I retreated slightly, wanting to fetch a glass of water. But unexpectedly, Lu Wenhui leaned down and sealed my lips again, asking, may I? His hands gathered my hair, fingers lightly cradling my face. As I stared at his handsome, sharp features, I momentarily lost myself before finally giving a slight nod. Lu Wenhui's eyes flashed with wild joy before he lowered himself over me. I could feel his scalding body, his rock-hard muscles, and, when passion peaked, he said, "Damn, I really want to marry you tomorrow." 12. The night in Yuanzhou was somewhat chilly. Lu Wenhui held me tightly, claiming it was for shared warmth. "So, do you still have doubts?" "No, you're amazing." Feeling my relaxation, Lu Wenhui regained his playful mood. "Isn't this exciting? Your boyfriend is right next door." I rolled my eyes at him and kissed his upturned lips. "Do you think your girlfriend next door would find it exciting too?" With a flip of his long legs, Lu Wenhui pinned me beneath him again. His slightly damp hair brushed against my neck and chest, tickling me. "Got it wrong, I'm your boyfriend, you're my girlfriend, and someday you'll be my wife." His dark eyes shed their coldness, making him look like an adorable big puppy. Unable to contain my joy, my lips curved upward. "Do you really like me this much?" Lu Wenhui nodded. "Absolutely. I was a goner from the moment I first saw you." After speaking, he seemed to recall something and frowned slightly. "No, we need to move that thing up earlier." "What thing?" "That grand performance. At most 1 week, no, 5 days. Just endure 5 more days and I'll show you a grand performance." Before I could process it, Lu Wenhui was already pressing his face against mine again. "After we go back, don't engage with Su Yuan, no sharing a bedroom, no talking to him." He mumbled, almost like he was whining. Only then did I realize what he meant by grand performance, so I asked him, "Didn't you say you'd tell me once I became your girlfriend? Why not now?" Lu Wenhui hesitated, thought for a moment, then shook his head. "It won't be satisfying if I say it now. All I can tell you is that Su Yuan's got quite a green hue above his head." That phrasing was rather interesting. 13. The next 2 days, Lu Wenhui and I went to soak in the hot springs, and didn't he run into Su Yuan or Ji Wanwan again. Early on the 4th morning, while I was still asleep, my phone suddenly buzzed incessantly. The call was from Su Yuan. When he got home and found I wasn't there, he immediately called me, his voice tense and urgent. I exchanged a glance with Lu Wenhui and started packing up to go home. Su Yuan was acting strange. Could his misdeeds have been exposed? It happened to be a Saturday. The moment I stepped inside, Su Yuan hurried over to greet me, his expression rather unpleasant. "Where have you been?" "I was on a business trip too." "What, you can go on business trips but I can't." Su Yuan, choked by my retort, flushed red in the face. He held back repeatedly, but in the end, he even managed to force out a smile, saying he missed me. Ugh, how disgusting. I brushed him off and headed for the bedroom, but who would ve thought Su Yuan would shamelessly follow me, even trying to hug me. "Get lost, don't touch me." I kicked him away, keeping 2 meters between us. Su Yuan looked awkward but still forced a dry laugh. "Yen Yen, it's been so long since we last, don't you miss it?" This bastard was really trying to disgust me to death today. I gave him a once-over, made a mental comparison, and decisively shook my head. "No interest. Go entertain yourself." After saying this, I shook off my goosebumps and walked out the door. Su Yuan was acting particularly crazy tonight. I called Lu Wenhui, who drove me to the hotel. Su Yuan kept calling. First I answered to argue with him, but later I simply turned off my phone. Out of sight, out of mind. Lu Wenhui held my phone quietly, deep in thought. After a while he said, "I think Ji Wanwan will come looking for you soon. Be prepared." Huh. Is that bastard's beloved concubine coming to pick a fight? 14. Just as Lu Wenhui predicted. Late at night, the girl sent a provocative video. "Isn't this exciting? Your boyfriend and I are right next door." Coincidentally, Lu Wenhui was beside me at that moment. A vein bulged at his temple in anger. How shameless. "Give me your phone." I intended to reply myself, but when I refused, he leaned over to snatch it. During the struggle, he pinned me on the bed and, panting, sent back a voice message. She and your boyfriend are also next door. Isn't that exciting too?" Ji Wanwan was furious, but could only vent her anger on me. Thus, at 3 p.m. the next day, I arrived at the coffee shop as agreed, coincidentally, the very same one she had previously checked in at. Up close, Ji Wanwan looked quite similar to her photos, though without the beautification filters. Her appearance seemed somewhat rough. I sat directly across from her. She froze for a moment, then put on a pitiful, tearful expression before speaking in a choked voice. "You must be Zhou Yan. I'm Ji Wanwan. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interfere in your relationship. When Su Yuan pursued me, I genuinely didn't know he had a girlfriend. He deceived both you and me. But recently, I found out I'm pregnant. Could you let him go? My child needs a father." Ji Wanwan cried like a delicate heroine from a Cheong Yao drama, her tears falling like pear blossoms in the rain. I was stunned, still trying to process what was happening, when a familiar figure suddenly rushed through the door. Ji Wanwan, if you have something to say it to me. Why come looking for Zhou Yan? Su Yuan said angrily, grabbing my hand to leave. Just kidding. I've been waiting for this day for so long. I shook off Su Yuan's hand and pointed at Ji Wanwan while asking him. She says you two were together and she's pregnant. Is it true? Su Yuan avoided eye contact, just repeatedly telling me to leave. I asked Su Yuan again. She said you lied to her when you pursued her, she didn't know you had a girlfriend. Su Yuan's eyes widened, his face full of disbelief. He first explained to me, believe me, Yan, she seduced me. I just made one mistake and couldn't get away. Then he turned to Ji Wanwan, why would you lie? The whole company knows I have a girlfriend. How could you not know? Ji Wanwan stared at Su Yuan without explaining, instead bursting into loud sobs. She rushed over to cling to Su Yuan's arm, crying so hard she could barely catch her breath. What else could I do? I'm pregnant. What do you expect me to do, abort the child, and watch you two live happily ever after? Her tearful eyes stared fixedly at Su Yuan, giving me only a 45-degree profile, a hauntingly fragile beauty. I could feel Su Yuan's grip on my arm slipping inch by inch. His eyes reflected conflict, pain, and struggle, though beneath it all lingered a trace of affection. What a tragic pair of lovebirds. Even Cheong Yao would give this performance a thumbs up. Unable to bear it any longer, I cleared my throat, about to interrupt their intense gaze, when sudden applause erupted from the doorway. Now that's some damn fine acting. 15. Lu Wenwei stood at the cafe entrance, lips curled in a smirk, clapping with exaggerated enthusiasm. I shot him a puzzled look, but he signaled for me to stay calm before making his grand entrance. Ji Wanwan, care to explain what's going on here? Lu Wenwei's gaze locked onto Ji Wanwan behind Su Yuan, his voice cold as ice. Ji Wanwan trembled and shrank further back. Su Yuan's eyes darted between the two of them before he seemed to realize something. He then abruptly pulled Ji Wanwan in front of him. Who is he? Explain yourself. Ji Wanwan kept her head down and refused to speak. Lu Wenwei shot her a glare and spoke first. I'm her boyfriend, the official one. A murmur of whispers spread through the cafe. Su Yuan's face flushed red, whether from anger or embarrassment, it was hard to tell. He demanded sharply, what the hell is going on? Didn't you say you didn't have a boyfriend? I'll break up with him right away. I only love you, I'm even carrying your child. Su Yuan, believe me. Ji Wanwan whispered her explanation, using the child as leverage, which immediately made Su Yuan waver. But then, Lu Wenwei suddenly pulled out a file folder and flung it in front of them. No need to rush, it's not yet time for your happily ever after. Su Yuan, right. Do you really trust her that much? Believe the child in her belly is yours. This bag contains proof. Besides you, brother Su, she also has brother Wang and brother Li. Ji Wanwan, you don't even know who the father of your child is, do you? Grabbing at straws, clutching at whoever you can. Ji Wanwan's face instantly turned deathly pale. She looked up at Su Yuan, only to see him staring at the document bag, his eyes burning with fury. Su Yuan, believe me, please believe me, the child is yours. Su Yuan ignored her. The evidence was right before his eyes, far more convincing than her empty words. I wanted to step closer to look, but Lu Wenwei grabbed my arm and whispered, we'll check it later. The original copies are with me. So I took a few steps back, putting more distance between myself and them. 5 minutes later, Su Yuan finally finished reviewing the evidence, his face ashen. He brushed off Ji Wanwan's desperate tugging and lunged toward me, begging tearfully for forgiveness. Sorry, not sorry, I couldn't be happier. I thought you were just a trampled boat, but turns out you're actually a fish in the sea. I burst into laughter, hurling one mocking remark after another until Su Yuan couldn't even lift his head. As he tried to grab at me, Lu Wenwei shoved him 3 meters away with one push. Get lost. Are you even a man? After saying this, Lu Wenwei turned and hooked his arm around my waist. Zhou Yan is my girlfriend now. If you can't handle it, why don't you two just make do with each other? Su Yuan's eyes turned bloodshot, his face twisting into an exceptionally ferocious expression. After holding it in for a long while, he spat out one sentence. Zhou Yan, you fucking cheated on me. The moment the words left his mouth, Lu Wenwei knocked him flat with one punch. This punch is for Zhou Yan. What rotten taste to fall for someone like you. Go home and look in the mirror, at that pathetic face of yours. Got the guts to switch loyalties but not the spine to admit it. Su Yuan clutched his bruising right cheek, hissing through clenched teeth from the pain. I walked over and crouched beside him, unable to resist adding, see, I told you you'd meet with bloody misfortune. It's your turn today, so you should wash. Work. Lu Wenhui held me and walked away, with thunderous applause behind us. My mood was exceptionally cheerful. Hooking my arms around Lu Wenhui's neck, I gave him 2 kisses. You're really a cunning old fox, huh? Lu Wenhui smiled smugly. Of course, just tell me, wasn't it satisfying? That was absolutely exhilarating. After saying this, I burst into laughter again. Lu Wenhui patted my head and laughed along with me. When did you realize she had changed? About a week before you came to me. A friend accidentally saw her and told me, and then I found her prenatal checkup report. So you've been planning this since then? I didn't think too much about it at the time, just figured we should break up since there was no love left. But after you came to me, I started forming a plan. After saying this, he stopped walking, turned to look at me. Zhou Yan, thank you for coming to me. His eyes were as deep as a lake, with turbulent waves hidden beneath the calm surface. My heart pounded wildly as I was about to respond, when Lu Wenhui leaned down and silenced me with his lips. Zhou Yan, I love you. I love you too, Lu Wenhui. The end. Author, He Wuong. Filing number, YXX LQ1 DNG Kai NC5DD.